Explore Tulsa is an opportunity to see behind the scenes of Tulsa's most unique places.
To hear the stories of real people who are doing fantastic things and who love living here.
We look at the people, places, and events that make Tulsa home. Welcome to a few minutes of Exploring Tulsa.
Hi, I'm Austin Morton. Thanks for joining us for another great show on Explore Tulsa. We're always glad you choose to join us.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. Thank you for being here. We have 4 stories for you this week that are sure to please.
Trish, you do know that 2018 is the year of the woman, right?
Well, I'm thinking every year gets to be the year of the woman. But we spoke with one woman who has certainly found her voice and is teaching other women to do the same.
And while Rena's focus is on coaching women with her newest book, everything she teaches applies to us men too.
I train people to use the voice and the body in more compelling and authentic ways. I did start life as a singer, actor, dancer, and I thought that's what I wanted to be. And I was that for several years. And I did all of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals. I was Lori in Oklahoma. I was Eliza in My Fair Lady, Gigi in Gigi. I could have gone that way. And then I just found that teaching and training was infinitely more rewarding. You know, performing is like all about me. And not only that, but what did you think of my performance? And when I was teaching, it was all about us and not just all about me. And so I was in my 20s, my early 20s, when I made that deliberate transition from a focus on performing to a focus on teaching. I was at OU for 15 years, Boomer Sooner, and I taught voice, speech, dialects, voiceover, occasionally acting, occasionally directing, and then I directed shows there as well. Well, I was training actors, and I had been training actors all my life. And I realized that what I was strongest at in training actors was helping them be grounded, centered, confident, and authentic, in addition to being expressive and easy with voice and body. And I started to see the application to what I call real people, you know, non-theater people. They could use those skills. And so I just slowly started looking around to see if there was interest. And then when I decided to leave OU, I wanted to try this other career as a corporate voice speech presentation coach to see if there was a need for that. The techniques are essentially the same, but there are some things that I did in actor training that I don't do with corporate people. You know, actors can roll on the floor and do all kinds of improvisational release exercises that most corporate people don't really want to do. Tongue speak is an exercise that looks ridiculous, and tongue speak is just sticking out your tongue and talking around your tongue, hanging let it out. And when you put your tongue back, the voice is more relaxed, and I can hear it and I can feel it in my own voice. So I've kind of left those off. I do in the body exercises that are quick, accessible, tangible, that people can immediately feel, oh, I get that. When I do that, my voice is stronger. 2.5 years ago, when I started on my book, Empower Your Voice for Women in Business and Politics, I didn't know that 2018 was going to be the year of the woman. So I think it was really fortuitous that it's a perfect timing for a book for women about releasing their physical voice. There are a lot of books that we can read that inspire our minds and our hearts to issue forth. But if our bodies have not ever embraced an open and free sound, then the body only can do what it's been doing. So even if my brain and my heart are empowered, if my voice and body are not, I still sound the same. So I have created a process that a woman can work through to free her voice and engage her body in authentic and compelling and expressive ways. So I think this book is actually perfectly timed for the movement and the energy of women in this country. I had a group one day that asked me to perform for them. So I whipped out Amazing Grace. You know, I didn't know what was going to come out of my mouth, and I just opened it and there it was. And so it felt like the old days, but it's not something, performing in that way is not something that I burn to do, but speaking about my work, about empowerment of voice, freeing the body, becoming more grounded and centered and authentic, that I burn to share.
Austin, I think we intro this next segment in tongue speak.
You know, I've tried that exercise, and I think I'll do my warm-ups in my very own private space.
Me too. Some of those exercises are amazing and really do work, but I think we'll both practice proper speaking exercises when the cameras aren't rolling.
Yeah, that's smart. Stick around, we're switching gears a little and going overseas when Explore Tulsa returns after this.
The box stores have come and gone, but Video Revolution is 35 years strong. Come see why. Video Revolution is the largest independent consumer electronics store in the region. For 35 years, we continue to have low prices and high customer service. Top brands like Sony, Samsung, LG, Yamaha, Sonos, Klipsch, and many more. Better than box stores in so many ways. Come experience the difference. The Video Revolution difference on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99 or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Hello, and welcome back to Explore Tulsa.
Now, we found a Tulsan who didn't grow up here, but who has made this his home for him and his family. In fact, he came here to finish college and further his career in Tulsa, and now gets to give back to his boyhood homeland in a big way.
Thanks to the help of a lot of great Tulsa citizens just like you.
I can save that lady if I have a glove immediately because I know how to do it. But we don't have anything. And we were looking by the time, we didn't even find the glove before she passed.
We try to save every human life. Every human life is special, whether it's here in the States or whether it's overseas.
I'm not born from a rich family, but I grew up with my brother, my big brother, in a town called Folly. That's where I went to high school and finished and went to college, finished my college, and then moved to the capital, who is Lome. That's where I went to university until 2002, when I finished and started working in Togo before I moved to US. I was in church, and something spoke to me when you grow up. Before even I finished high school, so when you grow up, we'll build a school and a hospital. And I wrote that in my Bible. So when I finished my residency in US, I was working, helping another organization, and I was giving them money to help in Togo. So I went to a clinic in that town. The irony is that before I left to Togo, I had a patient of mine here who had a similar condition that I experienced in Togo. So this lady in that clinic lost her husband a month before delivery. So now she's delivering on the day I arrived in that town. And she had a baby, and guess what? She started bleeding. When this happened, it's a matter of minutes. A woman after a baby starts bleeding, it's a major complication, it's an urgency. They don't have a glove, they have nothing. In Togo, most of the time, a patient will buy the glove and bring it to the clinic. If you don't buy it, nobody will see you. So the glove she brought was already used. There's nothing left. So we have to go far to find the gloves. But when we are doing all this stuff, guess what? She passed. She left an orphan behind.
Imagine going to a doctor to have surgery done. And the doctor walks over and digs in a box and pulls out a glove and puts it on. And it's missing a finger. So he digs around and finds another glove and puts that glove on. Now he puts a third glove on to seal the first two. He comes and does your surgery. When he gets done, he takes the gloves off. They wash them, hang them up outside, and then put them back in the box. There were people dying because something as simple as a glove.
And that was, at that time, what I wrote in the Bible when I was 11 years old came right back to me. I didn't sleep all this week. I was in Togo that time. So when I came back, I told my wife it's time to start the organization. So I started the process in 2012. We were granted with a 501c3 status, and that's how everything started. This container is full of a lot of stuff, especially the thing that we need. You see, I want to take the whole warehouse to Togo back in.
He came out, he came in, I showed him the warehouse, we talked. I told him that I could help him get a container into Togo.
But this container, if you can see inside, there's a delivery bed, and we have a breathing machine. This container is full of gloves. I think this will take us to 1 year before we need another gloves to buy. So patients should not have to pay for gloves. Once this container arrives to Togo, I don't back down easily. That's why with my friend Vijay, who is helping me this, we are doing it. And I don't see this as something I'm not going to be able to do. That's why I come here every time to pack this container, and soon that will be sealed and be gone.
He's got things on this container that it'll benefit, if I were to make a rough guesstimate, this container will probably benefit 250,000 people.
We wish Dr. Folly all the best as he closes up that container and sends it off overseas.
And our thanks to all the staff and volunteers at Rotary Medical Supplies Network for collecting all that equipment. Over 6,000 square feet of equipment and supplies just waiting to be repurposed both locally and around the world.
That's a great story, Trish. You can follow all the good things happening there at msni.org. Stay tuned, we're coming back from Africa to a local guy who is all about hands-on in a few minutes.
Stay tuned, Explore Tulsa returns in just a bit.
Here's a word for you, stress. If you're like most people, stress has simply become a way of life.
That means things like fatigue, weakness, muscle and bone loss, moodiness or depression, and dozens of other symptoms.
If you're stressed over an argument, your body can still react as if you're facing a life or death situation.
The food that you eat has a direct effect on your body's ability to handle stress.
So get rid of the processed food and sugary snacks and embrace fruits and vegetables, high quality protein and healthy fat.
Secondly, engage with your supportive friends and family. Social engagement is the body's most evolved strategy for responding to stress.
And finally, take time to exercise, which is as simple as going for a brisk walk. Come to FMI for an adrenal stress evaluation.
Our next story involves one of the coolest people you could hope to meet.
And he shows us a craft that has been around for 8,000 or 10,000 years.
The potter's wheel was invented way back in ancient times, and I suppose not much has really happened to it except to motorize it, and the art of pottery making remains largely unchanged and is a testimony to true artisanship.
We talked with Tulsa's own Jeff Wells and got schooled on not only the skill involved, but how to be a little chill as well.
You know, people say, well, you must have really cool plates at your house. And I'm like, no, weed off the ones that haven't sold or that got chipped or what, you know. Someday I'll make my wife a set of real ones. But anyway. I got a job at a studio in Nacogdoches, Texas, at the college down there. I think it was 79. And they needed somebody to mix clay, mix glazes, and fire kilns. And I said, I don't know any of that. Oh, and run their wood shop. I knew the wood shop, so I said, I'm a quick study, so I started mixing clay and glazes and started watching people throw, and within a week or two I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna try that. So I'd go in and put a mixer going at night, and I'd grab some clay and get on a wheel and start practicing. I don't consider what I make art. I think I get lucky sometimes, and a piece can transcend maybe that utilitarian thing to becoming an object worthy of just being seen, but that's lucky. I think it's the most immediate introduction to learning three-dimensional form, because the only thing close to it is working wood on a lathe, but even there's a tool between you and the material. Here, even though we use tools, these are in direct contact with the material. And at some point, you're almost like, what's the point? You go down to some store and buy a mug for $1. Why spend all the time to learn to make one? But there's something very gratifying about handcrafted, artisan-type work, both making it and using it, or having it in your home, or whatever. I try and get people on the wheel within 15 minutes of them being here. I get them to cut their balls of clay and put them in a bag. I give them a first demo, and I encourage my students, both, I require it of my college students, but even the folks that come in just for fun, I encourage them heavily to learn how to make just a straight 1-pound cylinder, because that's the basis of pretty much everything we do. I always tell people, if you're a perfectionist, think of Little Red Riding Hood, and that perfectionism is the cloak, and you hang that crap on the hook by the door when you come in, because the more you strive for success, the less you're going to get at the beginning. So it's more learning the process than worrying about a finished product. Some people learn it very quickly, but the exciting thing is when you see somebody that's working, and it's the work that counts. I don't mean the product, it's the time you spend at the wheel, but they get that first right cylinder, and man, they're proud of it. I mean, you can tell. You hear artists say, like, oh, if I could never paint again, my life would be empty. If I lost my business or whatever and ended up living on a pier down in Pensacola, I'd be happy catching fish and crabs and eating them. At the same time, would I miss it? Yeah. It's kind of cool to think that before there were cities and lights and you could see every star in the sky at night and the sun was still a god and the trees were talking to you, that people were doing this. I like making stuff. I've always liked making stuff, and when I found clay, I just enjoy the process. I don't really think too much in terms of selling. I'm not a good businessman for myself, but I just like making the stuff, and I like teaching. I like teaching a lot.
That looks like a lot of fun, and really messy, which is a lot of fun.
When Jeff isn't teaching, you'll likely find him outside his favorite coffee shop on Cherry Street, talking with absolutely everyone that stops by. He's been affectionately nicknamed the unofficial mayor of Cherry Street, and rightfully so.
We promise you'd be welcome to stop by and grab a quick coffee and share a few stories and tell them Explore Tulsa sent you.
Take a moment and grab a cup of coffee for yourself, but come right back for more Explore Tulsa in a moment.
I want to get a new TV. There's like 1,000 different brands, all with different features. I wish I could make sense of it all. What do you think is best?
You should go to Video Revolution. Their experts will tell you everything you need to know. They carry the latest LED and 4K TVs and will even install it and set it up for you too.
She's right. You wouldn't talk to anyone but your dentist about your bicuspid. So when it comes to home entertainment, only trust the experts at Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Welcome back to Explore Tulsa. We're glad you joined us again.
Okay, Trish, don't be offended by this, but I've got this one all by myself. I'm gonna say words like blown 383 stroker on a 200 shot, and every other gearhead just sat up and paid attention. We joined Curtis Rainbolt and some buddies who hang around some really awesome cars for this next segment. I'm planning on bringing my own turbocharged Lexus SC300 and meeting up with the guys and women at the first Caffeine and Gasoline of 2018.
Seriously? I get nothing?
It's in my blood. My grandpa had a salvage, so my dad grew up piecing cars together in the salvage and making hot rods, so it's always been at our house at home growing up, and I took it from Dad and went on from there. It's a group of automotive enthusiasts, right? The Tulsa community has a huge automotive culture, I guess you could say. There are a lot of cars in this town, and I knew of a lot of people that had collections and whatnot, but there was never a place where everybody could bring their stuff and show it off. So this started out of just a few guys getting together on a Saturday morning. We originally got in with the PCA, the Porsche Club, and they kind of joined us for a while, and word spread, and now we're open to just about anything. We even have an off-road group, you know, so if you love anything with 4 wheels, heck, we'll even take 2 wheels, you know. If you're a motorcycle guy, bring it out. This is the place to go in Tulsa for your car kicks. Every month, starting in March, we usually try to skip the January, February because it's a little chilly and weather is who knows what. But starting in March, actually March 17th, we are at a new location. It's every 3rd Saturday of the month, and our new location this year is the Vineyard on Memorial, which I'm really excited about.
Caffeine and Gasoline Tulsa used to meet at a local car dealership, and I think they were having trouble with where to put all the cars and then of course what to do once you're there. So they started looking for a new home, and we jumped on the opportunity to invite them out so we could be their new host.
There's a lot of good vendors here that we can, you can stick around and have lunch. There's candy shops, there's jewelry for the wife, there's a wine bar back here, you know, if you want to stick around and toss back a couple after the meets.
We have lots of amazing shops here at the Vineyard, places to eat, places to shop, and lots of places to park too. So we thought this would be the perfect venue for a car group to come and meet.
They've got a great parking lot for us. We can spread out, we can expand here, we can really grow here. Our meets are from 9 to noon. It's not too early if you're out Friday night, you know, you can still get up and make it. And we are at 106th and Memorial is the Vineyard on Memorial. So, and all you have to do is come out and bring your car. There's no membership, there's no formal initiation, just come out and enjoy with us.
This is it's a Lamborghini Murcielago wide body. And the wide body part is what makes the car so unique. So it's actually 8 inches wider in the rear than a standard Murcielago, and it's 6 inches wider in the front. And of course it has the full racing package with the racing exhaust from Lamborghini, the suspension, and the body modifications and things like that. So it's a very unique car. Even in California, where you see a lot of these type of cars, it's the only one that I've seen in the United States. So it's a lot of fun to drive, especially with when you're around Lamborghini enthusiast people that that really know the car. They kind of flock to it because it's a very unique car. It's not one you see every day.
This one is pretty much stock as far as driveline. However, it is lowered on coilovers, and I've got 19-inch wheels on it. This is what I take to the track. So I mean, I drive it to the office now and then. Otherwise, it comes out to the meets. It does the drives with us. Personally, me to have this, my wife is very understanding. She gets it. She gets that cars are in my blood, and I need some kind of an outlet. So this is my 4-seater sports car. This is how I was able to sell it to the wife, because it is a family car. It's a 2000 Porsche 996, and I can still fit a car seat in it, and my young ones can get in the back, and we can take it on a family cruise wherever we want.
We drive these cars as often as we can, and we'll drive them in the rain. We will drive them in the snow. We just love driving them. We have a real passion around driving cars. We have people in the club that have a lot of cars that they would never drive. They have them, they own them, they store them, and they love them, but they're not willing to drive them, and that's not us. We like to drive our cars.
We normally have, on a good meet, on nice weather, we'll have 150 to 200 cars. I think we've got right around 350 spots here open. So I'm really hoping that when word gets out, we can keep expanding on that. It's a great venue, easy to get in and out of. I think this is going to be a good spot for us. We're really excited.
Wow, there's a good chance there'll be upwards of 200 cars show up at the new venue.
With no membership or really any restrictions, it's a great place to bring your car, truck, bike, off-road, or just the kids and check out all the action at the Vineyard on Memorial. Find Caffeine and Gasoline on Facebook to see the next event coming up.
Let me shift into neutral, Trish, and coast for a few minutes, but we'll rev back up when Explore Tulsa returns.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
Hi, I'm Brett Batson with Batson Handmade, and you are watching Explore Tulsa.
That's our show for this time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your support each week.
Special thanks to Rena Cook and Vocal Authority for giving us our voice.
And thanks to Dr. Folly and VJ at the Rotary Medical Supply Network for sharing their story.
Plus, our thanks to Mr. CJ Wells and 3rd Street Clayworks. We'll be dropping by soon, so get the coffee ready. And I get to say thanks to Curtis and James from Caffeine and Gasoline for giving us the inside scoop on the coolest cars in Tulsa.
Remember, if you missed any of the show, you can always find us at exploretulsa.com and on YouTube, the Explore Tulsa channel.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
Hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop in and say hi to Ron, me, and any of the guys for your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3016 South Harvard and 69th Memorial.
Stop by our newest sponsors, Drs. Michelle and Mark Sherwood from Functional Medical Institute, located on the northwest corner of 61st and Sheridan.
Your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins with Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.